Streaming. It has grown to be one of the largest spaces in content creation, giving us such names as Asmongold, Ice Poseidon, the guy you went to high school with who can't see his kids anymore. And recently, a new streaming star has broken out named BurntPeanut. Now, what separates Mr. Peanut from his competition, you ask? He streams as a virtual peanut. That's about it as far as I can tell. You can still see his eyes and mouth in real time. It's kind of like the annoying orange for anyone else developing back pains lately. Now, obviously, there's a bit more to it than just the peanut. Most of his viewers are watching for his personality, though I'm sure there is probably a small percentage of them who are just excited to see a peanut on their screen talking. Now, BurntPeanut has been popular for a while, but he had his real breakout when he won Best VTuber at the Streamer Awards last year. You know, that's when he really entered the public eye, and now your coworker won't stop showing you clips of him against your will. Obviously, if you can't tell, he doesn't really appeal to me personally. The only streamer I care about is Germa, and Germa does not need a software to be a strange little creature. But when someone gets really popular in a short amount of time, there are people who will try to copy this person to try to get a shred of their success, especially when their main gimmick can be copied pretty easily. So today I want to look at a couple of these streamers who seem to be riding the Peanut's wave and try to figure out what they're doing to separate themselves from him, or the lack thereof. Actually, mainly the lack thereof. And talk about why it's usually not a good idea just to rip someone off online. What's poppin', Fortnite gamers? It's your boy Brandon Abstrxct. As always, thank you to the members who got to see this video early and for supporting the channel. So let's get into our first streamer, who I'm going to talk about very briefly because he's been talked about a lot online, but it would be a great dishonor not to bring him up. And that is the Faithful Sheriff.
Howdy everybody, it's the Faithful Sheriff.
This ain't no place for no hero.
The Faithful Sheriff is literally just the BurntPeanut, but he tries to talk to people about Christianity and Fortnite, which is why he is the Faithful Sheriff.
I like to go into games and ask people, do they believe in Jesus?
I think there's no problem in talking about religion in general, but Fortnite is probably the last place to do it.
Yo, let's all swing from this cock.
It doesn't help that when someone says they're not a Christian in a nice way, he just becomes like a sarcastic asshole.
Like, as in what?
If you can't say yes, then you don't.
The real sad thing about the Faithful Sheriff, besides the random farting thing, is that he is 42 years old and there's nothing wrong with that. But he seems so insecure about the fact that he is a 42-year-old man playing Fortnite as a peanut. Like, anytime someone questions him about how old he is, he gets weirdly defensive about it.
How old are you?
Why does that matter? I'm 42. Is that okay?
What?
Is that okay? It's just kind of odd for the first thing like people to ask you is how old are you?
He also gets upset when people try to bring up the fact that it's weird that he's a grown man talking to minors online.
Oh guys, look! It's a minor! And I'm talking to them! Whoa!
Like, that response just made it weirder.
Oh?
There's nothing wrong with talking to minors when you're playing a game and they're on the same team as you. It's only weird when you keep hounding them with personal questions like what their religion is.
We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids.
The real sad thing about him being 42 is the fact that he denies the fact that he's copying the BurntPeanut while actively trying to get the attention of the BurntPeanut, who I'm guessing is in his 20s. He has this like 10-minute long video on his TikTok trying to explain why he isn't copying the BurntPeanut, which I'm not watching because it's 10 minutes too long. But his whole in-character story for why he's a peanut is because the BurntPeanut cursed him.
I fell asleep, I woke up like this, okay? I think it's the BurntPeanut. I think he did this to me. It's a curse. I bet you this is what happened. BurntPeanut cursed me.
And then he went on this whole campaign to get the BurntPeanut to respond to him to lift the curse.
Day 2 of asking the BurntPeanut to release me from this peanut curse.
So essentially, a 42-year-old man is LARPing a fan fiction he wrote about a streamer in the hopes that that streamer will acknowledge him. And that's just sad. That's about it in terms of him copying the BurntPeanut. This guy has a whole lore before he became the Faithful Sheriff, where he was known as Dr. Witnesser, which you can watch videos on if you're interested in learning more. After finishing this video though, because now we're gonna get into more niche clones like the Sweaty Tomato.
Sweaty tomato. Sweaty tomato.
That video goes on for like 40 seconds. Like, okay, man. And it is so obvious that this guy is copying the peanut because the BurntPeanut won the Streamer Awards on December 5th, 2025, right? Do you want to guess when this guy's first post was? I'll wait. All right, I'm tired of waiting. December 9th, 2025. And it's just so sad because he even copies the faces the Burnt Peanut makes. Like the mouth wide open surprise thing that the Burnt Peanut does. And he really doesn't have anything else going for him besides the shit that he took from the Burnt Peanut. Like, here's a clip that he thought was a good idea to post on social media.
Yes, die, you piece of shit. That was good.
Now, I don't play Arc Raiders, but I'm going to take a stab and say that was probably not the most interesting clip. Oh, also, I forgot to mention the Burnt Peanut's main game is Arc Raiders, so you'll see a lot of his clones also playing Arc Raiders. Because apparently the combo for success must be the food avatar and Arc Raiders. Obviously, there's nothing else to it.
This plan C can't possibly fail!
Now, the only other two things I've seen him try to do to be entertaining is talk in a weird voice.
Hello? Is anybody out there? I'm so fucking scared.
Which is very millennial coded.
Gen Z's trying to what?
And sing a song about himself that he most likely made with AI.
That's like tomato, sweaty tomato.
Apparently he thought that bit was so good that he had to do it 2 times. But by far my favorite thing that I saw while looking through this account was a comment calling him out for being a clone of the Burnt Peanut. And do you want to guess what his reply was? I'm not doing that bit again. Everyone else sitting in front of a web camera. Super original. I think I'll be fine. Welcome to the garden. What kind of response is that, man? Does this guy honestly think that sitting in front of a webcam is a bad thing? That's just the default way of recording yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. It's crazy to accuse other people of lacking originality when you copied another guy's whole bit bar for bar. Nut for nut. I also love how he ends it like,
welcome to the garden.
I wonder if he can put a fedora on his avatar to really match the vibe.
Sweaty tomato.
All right, let's move on to another clone channel, and this one's a 2-for-1. And that's our boys Bacon and Sir Toast a Lot.
I'm feeling good, Toast. How about yourself?
How many kills we got?
15 kills.
Is this just a trend for the worst millennials you know? They were the people who pioneered bacon being funny because it's so random. They also did the same thing to potatoes, but luckily I haven't seen any one of them.
You get less viewers on this game, but I feel like you also have more haters. Yeah, I mean, because this is Peanut's game, man.
You gotta be kidding me.
But my main problem with this channel is not them copying the Burnt Peanut, but it's the fact that it's bacon and toast. Who has just bacon and toast for breakfast? That's insanity. You gotta have an egg in there at least. Egg and toast I can accept. Egg and bacon I can also accept. But bacon and toast is where I draw the line.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill us!
Once again, this account popped up in February 2026, so we can assume the peanut was their main inspiration. Also, judging by the fact that their latest video was called No Peanuts, Just Breakfast in a Chopper, really on the nose there. And that's the entirety of their content. It's just them playing Battlefield 6 in a helicopter, which is insane because you're already limiting yourself with the food avatars, and then you're gonna limit yourself to one small bit of gameplay from Battlefield, the game whose whole appeal is that you can do crazy stuff in it.
Tell me what you got, bitch.
But yeah, let's make content about Toast and Bacon playing one of the most boring playstyles in Battlefield. What's even worse to me is that they never change up who's flying and who's shooting. So you always have Toast flying the helicopter while Bacon does the actual shooting. But I think because Bacon does all the actual shooting, he ends up acting like the main character while Toast is just kind of there.
We'll go get him. Oh, there's a guy on it! There's a guy, go!
What? Where?
It's one of those situations where I feel like you can tell whose idea it was, like a couple who just recently opened up their relationship.
Kinda wanna blow this up. Awesome.
Now, I'm obviously dogging on them, but they're actually the best of the clones that I've seen so far. At least they're doing something somewhat different from the Peanut in terms of content, unlike the Sweaty Tomato. It's crazy because the whole food avatar thing is probably what's holding them back the most. When you look at their YouTube channel, the thumbnails and banner are actually pretty well done. But all people will ever see are 2 dudes ripping off the Burnt Peanut. Like, every comment section in all these clones' accounts are just people making fun of them for their lack of originality. I just wish these guys would take these avatars behind the farm and turn them into goop. Now, pretty much every other clone suffers from the same problems. So instead of taking the time to talk about each one of them, let's just rapid fire fire through the rest of them that I found. Because I did not take the time to look into all these accounts for you not to suffer with me. We got Hairline Sniper, who is just a guy with a bad hairline, so it's at least a little different from the food. Serta Plays, who is just a pillow. Northern Sausage, who is a hot dog. Whatever this person is supposed to be. Steakinator, who is a steak. And finally, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing, whose only clip I could find was him saying the hard R. Look, there is a fine line between inspiration and imitation. When most people start making any form of content, they typically start by just imitating whoever they were inspired by. But just stealing the whole gimmick of the biggest streamer at the moment is just crazy. The BurntPeanut definitely got a lot of people into the door by being a peanut, but that is not the only reason he is successful, which I think a lot of these people just don't understand. And I should say the BurntPeanut isn't the first person to do this shtick. He's just the first guy to get mainstream with it. And I feel kind of bad because anyone doing this shtick before the BurntPeanut blew up is probably just getting accused of being a clone of him now. And what sucks for people who are doing this bit before the BurntPeanut, and what I think the clones don't understand is, this bit is really only funny the first time it's done. Just being the BurntPeanut but a tomato is not adding anything to the joke. It's just a sad rehash of the same joke. This isn't like when VTubing became popular and opened a whole new lane of men pretending to be anime girls online. The BurntPeanut did not open up this new subsection of food avatar streaming that people want to watch. BurntPeanut was the first to bring this joke to the mainstream, and that's it. Noah has closed the arc. There's no more room for you guys. I can't imagine a way to build on this shtick to make it something original. It's always just gonna be looking like a BurntPeanut clone. Now, if you want to do the filter for fun because you enjoy it, that's an entirely different thing. But so many of these people are obviously clout goblins trying to cash in on a shtick that they never really understood why it worked. And it really comes back to that comment that the Sweaty Tomato made about how sitting in front of a webcam is not original. The originality is you. No one has ever seen you sit in front of a webcam and talk. No one has ever seen how you handle a funny moment in a game. For the love of God, the website is called YouTube. I think people forget that. People want to watch someone who brings their own perspective to things, not someone copying someone else bar for bar, because they can just watch that person that you're copying if that's what they're in the mood for. It's like how every hero shooter fails because there's no reason to play them over the games that they already copied. And by the way, most of the people I've talked about in this video have already given up on making content, probably because they didn't get the instant success that they wanted. Which is sad because maybe they would have stuck with it if they just didn't start with the filter. Anyways, remember that inspiration is fine, but don't forget to put the you into the content. Hashtag put the you back in YouTube, baby. Anyways, that's all I got. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Nut for nut.
Sweaty tomato! Sweaty